Hello and welcome to Radio Spaetkauf, Berlin's English language news show. This is just a short update, and I'm as always Yuri.
I'm Joel Delroy.
And I'm Daniel Stern. Also as always, except when I'm acting.
We've been on a bit of a break since the Berlin election, but that is fair enough because so has the mayor.
Sure. Why were we were on a break, what, because Joel had to take a tropical vacation in Australia?
Well, and because we're so hardworking, and, you know, we were basically following with the mayor's lead because, you know, we had that election a couple of weeks ago and the SPD won. And pretty much soon after, Michael Muller just said, you know what, I'm just off to South America for 2 weeks.
Visiting distant cousins?
He was off, even though they were actually haven't still yet formed the coalition, which is going to run the city, which is kind of an important thing, don't you think? Like figuring out who's actually
right. So it's like, it's more like may or may not.
May or may not.
All right, I'm going to take off the rest of the day, guys. Thanks.
So, yeah, the coalition talks are still ongoing between the parties to figure out who actually is going to run the city. It still looks like it's going to be the SPD, Die Linke and Die Grünen. They've had lots and lots of meetings, and they've made a little mini agreements about what they're going to do when they get in charge. But they haven't actually voted in the coalition formally yet. So I guess theoretically no one's in charge of the city, and we won't actually know who is in charge until sometime in November.
Could I just throw in here that I fundamentally don't understand anything about this process? That so like one person should win and then the other people should pout and shut down the government. Isn't that how it works? Like, I don't...
In other news, public transport tickets once again are going to go up in price.
Yes, we just found out the new transport ticket prices for 2017, and the AB ticket is going to go up from €2.70 to €2.80. The ABC tickets, they're the ones you're meant to buy when you go out to Schöneberg, but probably don't. They're going up from $3.30 to $3.40, and Tages card will be $7.70, also a 10-cent increase. The big one is the Monatskarte, which is going to breach the €100 mark for the first time, going up to €100.50.
Wow.
Wait, that's up 60 cents.
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand the math of how a single trip can go up 10 cents and then a month's worth of trips is 60, but math isn't my strong suit.
Economies of scale, Dan.
Okay. Thank you.
There is still
Could you make that more condescending?
There is still a secret way of saving, though, because you can still buy those 4 at-once tickets for €9, and that's the same price as it's been for the last while, at least.
That one's not going up.
$2.25 per trip.
So is there any kind of justification for this? I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they've had record profits last year.
That's right. The BFLG did make a record profit last year. And in fact, that was part of the announcement that the outgoing finance senator made. Well, he's still the finance senator technically because he hasn't been voted in or out because nobody has. But anyway, the finance senator of Berlin a couple of weeks ago made an announcement about the city's profits. And he announced that the Berlin's own 53 companies, which the city owns directly and profits from, had made a profit of something like €700 million last year. One of those was the BFLG, which made a profit of €18 million, which is an increase of 8 million on the year before. So if you're wondering how they're making all that extra money, it's probably because they keep putting the ticket prices up. They say they're going to spend on new buses.
Wait, you're saying that like they say like conspiratorially. Do you think that this is in fact going towards some other devious expenditures or?
We'll judge after the fact. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so this is just more of like, I'll believe it when I see it type remark.
I have seen some pretty cool fancy new trains running, especially on the U2, which I don't normally take, but the U2's got some pretty schmicky looking trains running on it these days.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a diamond shape.
Yeah.
And those screens that tell you what the next 3 stops are.
Which were all wrong when I were on it, but you know, at least they've got the screens on there.
There have been tests that have found that in Berlin and in East Germany, school students are now improving their English language skills faster than their German language skills.
This comes from a study of Year 9 students' abilities. It's called the IQ Bildungstrend 2015, and it looked at the reading and writing skills of students across Germany and found that those in East Germany, which includes Berlin, they're actually improving their English skills faster than they're improving their German skills. Now, this doesn't mean that their English is better than their German, just that their English is catching up to their German, and that their German isn't improving at any noticeable way.
I'm trying to do the math here, and like I said, it's not my strong suit, but is it possible that we will replace the German language with the English one before we've completed the airport?
Is it possible that all the school students in East Germany will learn English before you learn any German? Is the other question.
I know. Literally dozens of German words.
Yeah, not
Joel.
bad. Keep at it.
Doch.
All right, we've found a sign of gentrification speeding up. The Fuchs and Elsterbau on Weserstraße has announced it will close by the end of the year.
This was one of the first hip bars to open on what is now one of Berlin's hippest streets. It's been there for about 6 or 7 years, and the owners say that they've reached their limits and can't continue with the bar, so it's going to close down. They're going to concentrate, however, on their other, even hipper bar, which is on top of the Neuköllner Karten. It's called the Klunkerkranik. So this is kind of like, I don't know, gentrification eating its own tail or something?
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's still the right word for that. This is like cultural appropriation of gentrification. We're gentrifying the word gentrification itself. This is God. Who gentrifies the gentrifiers? That's not a thing. That's just a bar closing. I think that's let's not abuse the English language as badly as I abuse the German one.
Yeah, cool. That's about it. But we have got a very special announcement to make.
Yes, November will be Radio Spaetkauf's 5th anniversary. So make sure you come along to our next live recording, which is November 20, 6 p.m. at the Comedy Cafe Berlin to help us celebrate.
Oh, and a second announcement, also special. We won't have to rank them, but we've got a new special project.
Yeah, we're going to team up with RadioEins and launch a new short podcast series that will be released bi-weekly. That's every second week, not twice a week, starting next month.
And RadioEins, if you don't know it, is Berlin's main public radio station. If you're a German, you definitely know it. If you've never turned on a radio set in Berlin, you might not ever know what it was. But that's going to change now because Radio Spaetkauf and RadioEins are teaming up. So if you want to hear that new podcast, it's going to sound a little bit different to your regular Radio Spaetkauf broadcast. It's going to be shorter and a bit snappier.
And better sound quality.
But you don't have to do anything at all to hear it because it'll be going out on our own podcast channel at the same time as RadioEins will be releasing it. So all you have to do is sit back there and just wait for it to land in your podcast feeder as you always have been.
And make sure to let people know that you knew about, Radio Spaetkauf back in the day before they were huge publicly funded
before they sold
bi-weekly 3-minute podcast. Are we gentrifying RadioEins? Is that what's happening? The real point is, guys, pay your TV and radio tax. It's the most important thing you can do. They're supporting what's important to all of me.
Perhaps we'll help those East German kids improve their English even further.
Exactly.
That hasn't even occurred to me. We have been criticizing the TV tax for so long. No more.
Oh, I don't believe I ever. No, I have always. All right. Well, then, come out again and see us live November 20th to support at 6 p.m. to support the 5th anniversary. That'll be really fun. And
well, just before we go, this is one it's a bittersweet announcement. We're about to play for you for the very last time the Radio Spaetkauf jingle that you've all been used to for all those years. Because starting with our new RadioEins show, we're going to release a new jingle. It'll sound fantastic, don't worry. But it's time for us all to say goodbye to the little vocoder that's been singing our way in and out of Radio Spaetkauf for years. Boys, you're looking very morose there.
Yeah, I don't deal with change well. And do you think we could play it like we could at the end just slow it down so it's sort of like sadly
play it original, then play it slow.
And we can
and then play it sped up
and then play taps.
Well, without further ado, we've been Radio Spaetkauf. See you next time.
Bye
Guys.
Radio Spaetkauf.